I received mail this week, and one of the senders of these packages, there's 3 of them, asked me to film it while opening. So let's do this. Shit. This one will do. It's also yellow. This one comes from Tom from Hilltop Machine Works. Now this is a complete surprise. I didn't know he did send me something. So I have of course no idea what's inside. And both other packages, what a word, I have no idea either. So let's do this. Come on knife, why don't you cut? Danger. That will cut. Aha! Cardboard! That's exactly what I needed. Oh, maybe there's something inside. Holy, the Deckel FP1. This is magnificent. To handle with care, because this is a real museum piece. I see here a date, April 14, 1938. Tom, this is a magnificent gift. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Of course, this will go upstairs with my books. I don't want to keep it here in the workshop. It has too much value. Thank you very much. Pack number 2 from Chris from Dreams Team over in Germany. Chris writes in his little note here that he wanted to send me a Christmas gift. Inside here we find, hold on, come back, a building kit. This is great. It's one of the old styles soldering lamps. I assure you I'm gonna video the build of this thing. Pack number 3, all the way from Canada, from Gilles. And if I got it right, Gilles, he made me something, but I don't know what yet. Air! That's always fun to play with. There is a note in it. Oh, and something. That's a beautiful box. So he sent me a little note to explain how this works. Gilles, this is a beautiful little box. I wish I could work wood just like you did. It's magnificent. Let's open it up. Oh, look at this. Machinist jacks. So he made it with a quick adjustment, this one, and a fine adjustment. And I can choose which head I put on, and it clicks in with a little ball. Fantastic work, Gilles, and the fact that you made it specially for me, thank you very much. And I assure you, this thing, I'm gonna use it here in the shop. And of course, links to the channels from Chris and from Tom and from Gilles in the description. Some time ago I posted some videos where I experiment a bit making gears on the shaper. Now it was not a complete failure, but it wasn't a complete success either. So I bought some gears because I needed for a project, and now let's continue experimenting. What I would like to do is copying a 60 teeth gear, because I need two to be able to make 1 mm pitch threads on my lathe. So I have all these numbers here and a paper, and I also made a blank. What I did last time was using this bizarre looking thing here, which is of course a fixture that goes here on the shaper. It's the other way around, but that's a detail. And then my gear and gear blank was mounted here on this shaft that goes in here, and the envelope was created by this wire that held this bizarre looking thing. That's already two bizarre looking things in one video. And this, with the movement of the table, this spins around a bit, which created the model, the envelope of the teeth. The idea of the wire seemed to work a bit, not really a big problem, but the only detail that was not really at the point was the fixing system to index the gear every time. I needed too much force, and there was a bit of slack in this wire, and it didn't work really well. It worked, but not fantastic. And then someone came with the idea to use a gear rack. That's a brilliant idea, but to do that you need a model, which I didn't have last time. But now all I have to do is copy this gear. So my plan is making a gear rack that I can fix here, the other side around, right here, and then my model gear will come here below and will spin with the movement of the table, and in the meanwhile cutting the blank on this side. It sounds complicated, but you will see. Let's start by making the teeth on the rack. Put my part direct on the table will be much easier than using vise. Install these two to prevent it from escaping. Now I don't think there's really need, but better too much than not enough. Everything is set up, ready to go. I installed the tool slide at 20 degrees, which is the pressure angle of the teeth I have to cut. I do this so the cutting tool will cut at only one side, and of course the bottom. A bit like cutting threads on the lathe, you install compound at 30 degrees to cut with one side of the tool. I have to cut, I check on my blackboard there, 4.11 millimeter deep. For this small machine, that's a big cut. Let's see what happens. It seems to work. I have to move 4.71. 4. That doesn't look right. The little problem I had with the spacement between the teeth was quickly fixed. the dial here goes from 0 to 20. That's all, 0 to 20. And one full turn is 4 millimeters. I don't know what the Dutch people were thinking when they designed this machine, but I think this is really confusing. Now, the Dutch people always like to make fun for the Belgians because they think they're stupid, and this proves that's the other way around, right? 0 to 20, 4 millimeters. 160 strokes a minute. And another one done. If one day you don't know what to do, make a gear rack. That's really fun. Right, let's stop playing and do a little bit of assembly. First, this one. Voilà. There is a little problem. This L-iron piece here should be, of course, horizontal. So I'm gonna first mill a bit a slot here so I can adjust both sides. I'm not trying to make something fancy here, just mill a slot and that's all. No measurements, no nothing. Alright, let's see how that goes. Doesn't like it. I think this starts to look a bit better. Let me explain a bit the situation here, how it works. I put a mark here on the gear blank, and the original gear is of course here behind, a bit hard to see, but it's there. And with the movement of the table, my gear blank will spin. I think no problem at all. Now, when the tooth is cut, all I have to do is push here, re-index the next one, engage it, ready to go. When it's cut, push this one in, re-index, ready to go. Depth of cut, 0.5 millimeter to start with. See how that goes. A step over of 0.2 millimeter per stroke. Machine doesn't even feel it. When the cutting tool is making bigger cuts, you can clearly see some movement in the gear blank. Now for the moment I can't move it at all, but in the video footage you can see. So let me fix that first and then bring you back for the 59 other teeth to do. This is the very last cut. I found out that I can cut the teeth in one go. One time I dialed in the gear and I forgot to retract the tool a bit. Normally I did the cuts in 4 times and now I know I can cut in one go. Alright, this is it. Let's take the switch apart here and see what we've got. I will deburr it and show it from a bit closer. I had to make a little spacer ring because this thickness is not enough. This is 9 mm, I need 14. So a little spacer and that will solve the problem. Put the gear in place. And it even fits. In the comments of another video, someone said I have exactly the same lathe. And so now I know that this machine was built in Armenia. Can you imagine having an Armenian lathe? I think it's fantastic. Right. Looks good. Everything is prepared to do the test. I made a little future bolt here. Cutting tool in place, 30-degree thing. Okay, let's see if it works. In theory I have to cut a little bit more, but let's give it a go anyway. I'm gonna leave it as is, I think. Perfect! Conclusion. Making gears on the shaper is fun. And it works. And don't forget to pay a little visit at the channels from Tom and Chris and Gilles. And Gilles posted a 2-part video where he built this machinist jack. Go and have a look.